Let's talk about the unsung hero of your home. It's this one piece of equipment you probably never ever think about, but it's literally the mechanical heart of your house, just quietly working away 24/7. Yeah, I'm talking about your HVAC system.
But let me ask you, when do you really notice it? I mean, is it when you're dialing in that perfect temperature on your smart thermostat? Or maybe when you hear that familiar gentle hum kicking on in the background? Nah, probably not.
You notice it when it stops, right? That sudden, almost deafening silence on the hottest day of the summer, or that bone-chilling quiet on the coldest night of the year. In that moment, your HVAC system is suddenly the most important thing in your entire world. All right, so let's dive right into that moment of crisis. We've all been there. The AC just quits in the middle of a brutal heat wave, or the furnace gives up the ghost during a deep freeze. And believe me, this isn't just bad luck. There are some serious forces at play that lead to that inevitable breakdown. And one of the biggest forces working against your system is something you have absolutely no control over: your local climate. To really get this, we're going to look at Northern Virginia as a case study because, honestly, the challenges they face there, they apply to so many of us.
So think about it. Each of these things is a different kind of stress test. In a place with high humidity, your AC isn't just cooling the air, it's also working overtime, pulling gallons and gallons of moisture out, which just wears down parts like the compressor. Then you've got these wild temperature swings that force the system to constantly jump between heating and cooling. That puts a ton of stress on its delicate control boards. And get this, even the ground itself can be an enemy. Shifting soil can literally pull your underground ductwork apart, leaking all that precious conditioned air into the dirt.
So with all that pressure from the outside world, it's really no surprise that things go wrong. But here's the thing. These failures, they aren't totally random. They usually give us some warning signs. So let's decode a couple of the most common symptoms you might see.
Okay, first up, a true classic. And it looks just as bizarre as it sounds. A solid block of ice forming inside your indoor AC unit. You might actually see the ice, or maybe just notice water leaking everywhere as it melts. Either way, it's a dead giveaway that your cooling has completely stopped.
And this is just a perfect illustration of a simple chain reaction. Almost every single time, it starts with restricted airflow. I want you to think of it like trying to breathe through a clogged straw. A filthy air filter, or maybe a big piece of furniture you shoved over a return vent, is literally choking your system. So without enough warm air moving over that evaporator coil, its temperature plummets below freezing, and poof, the humidity in the air instantly turns to ice. It's a feedback loop that brings all cooling to a screeching halt. And the crazy part? This massive system failure is often caused by a $5 filter you just forgot to change.
All right, now let's flip to a winter scenario. You wake up, it's freezing in the house. The thermostat is definitely calling for heat, but all you hear is the furnace clicking and whirring without ever giving you that warm, comforting air. You know why this usually happens on the very first cold snap of the year? It's because your furnace has been sleeping all spring and summer, and while it's been dormant, dust and debris have been settling on all the critical little parts. That flame sensor, which is a super important safety device, can get just a tiny coating of grime on it. That grime prevents it from detecting a flame, so it does its job and shuts the whole system down for safety. So this isn't some catastrophic breakdown, it's usually just a system that needs a good cleaning after a nice long nap. But eventually, you're going to face problems that are a little more serious than a dirty filter or a grimy sensor. And that leads every homeowner to the exact same, really tough decision. This is it, the big one. Do you spend hundreds, maybe even $1,000 or more to patch up your old system that's been limping along? Or do you just bite the bullet and invest in a brand new one? It's a super stressful decision for sure, but there's actually a little tool that can help bring some much-needed clarity. Let's talk about the $5,000 rule. Now, it's just a simple guideline, really. Think of it as some quick back-of-the-napkin math to help you figure out if you're about to throw good money after bad. It's specifically designed to stop you from paying for an expensive repair on a system that's pretty much on its last legs anyway.
Okay, so let's walk through how it works. It's super simple. You just need two numbers. First, the age of your system in years, and second, the quoted cost for the repair you're looking at. You just multiply those two numbers together. And if that final number is over $5,000, the rules suggest that replacement is probably the smarter financial move.
So let's use a really clear example from our source material here. Imagine you've got a 12-year-old system, and a technician tells you it needs a $500 repair.
So you multiply 12 years by $500, and you get $6,000. Now, since $6,000 is obviously more than the $5,000 threshold, this rule is flashing a big red warning light. It's basically telling you, hey, spending that $500 might not be a great investment right now. It's probably time to start getting some quotes for a new, more reliable, and definitely more efficient system.
But what if we could avoid having to even think about that $5,000 rule for as long as possible? Well, we can, and we do it by shifting our mindset from being reactive to being proactive. You can absolutely take control and squeeze a lot more life out of your system. And look, it is not complicated. This is your power checklist right here. First, change those filters, please. It's number one for a reason. Keep your outdoor unit clear of leaves and debris so it can actually breathe. Do a quick check to make sure your vents aren't blocked by couches or bookshelves. And finally, schedule those professional tune-ups in the spring and fall. Seriously, it is the single best investment you can make to avoid a miserable emergency breakdown. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. After seeing how this whole thing works, what it's up against every single day, and how you can actually care for it, what is your HVAC system to you? Is it an active part of your home that you manage and maintain? Or is it just a metal box that you ignore and just wait for that inevitable, awful moment when it finally fails? The choice, really, is yours.